311 Griffin here, and I know what you're thinking. This video does not seem to match the title that the video was given, and I admit that is correct. I'm playing Star Wars Battlefront 2, and I'm going to be talking about Star Wars the movies. So the reason for that is I'd rather be playing the newer Battlefront. That looks awesome. Instead, I'm playing this game, which is consequently from the year 2005, I believe. So it's a little bit older. Very fun game to play. So, but I'm not talking about this game. I'm talking about Star Wars movies, and I just wanted something Star Wars related in the background. Jedi Academy was kind of annoying me, so I decided to play this one instead. So, as the title of the video suggests, I want to talk about kind of the origins of Rey from Force Awakens, and I actually noticed some stuff when I first watched the movie in the theaters, and I'm going to have some clips here in a minute that I'm using just for sort of demonstrations from the movies to kind of show where my theory originated from. But I first noticed this in the theaters, and I'll talk about that, and I've been wanting to make a video for a long time, but I just haven't done it, and with The Last Jedi coming out, I thought, you know what better time to do it, because if I do it after The Last Jedi comes out, if it turns out I'm right, which I'm betting money I'm not, I'm not actually betting money, I don't think that I'm right, but it's an interesting theory, and I wanted to talk about it before the movie came out. So, the theory is that Rey is somehow connected with Emperor Palpatine, Darth Sidious. And I know that sounds pretty funny. I don't know that the timelines work out, but let's look at some video clips from the movies. So here's the fight between Sidious. This is the first time we see him whip out a lightsaber in the movies. And if you noticed that first plunge where he killed the first Jedi, he pulls his arm way back and thrusts it forward, and he does that several times. You'll see it again here, just like that. So he pulls it way back, even in the fight against Yoda, and obviously I'm jumping around a lot here. He pulls it back and thrusts forward, not all the time, but he does that a lot. And you'll notice here Rey from Force Awakens, she does it as well. They both also from time to time will pull their lightsaber up above their heads and do kind of a downward swing. But it's that when I was watching this scene in particular, well, this is the scene I noticed it in the theaters. I thought, man, that looks familiar. And before the movie was over, it dawned on me that it was the Emperor that did it from Revenge of the Sith. And that got me to thinking, maybe they're connected. Everybody obviously thinks that Rey is somehow related to Luke or something like that, and that is probably what's going to happen. I think it's going to be lame if that's what happens, but obviously it's Luke's lightsaber and she's somehow connected that way, but I don't know. Hopefully it's interesting. I hope that it's interesting. Force Awakens was basically A New Hope all over again. I sort of suspect that The Last Jedi is going to wind up being Empire Strikes Back all over again or something like that. I sincerely hope not. I think the movies are enjoyable to watch. I'm going to go watch it, but I don't have high hopes for it because I don't think they've been doing anything that original. And obviously, if you didn't notice, we're back at Battlefront 2, Star Wars Battlefront 2. So I'm going to let that kind of play out while I talk about the rest of my theory. So it's kind of weak. The whole Emperor connection is a little bit weak because I don't know that the timeline works out for the Emperor to have kids, and we're never really given any sort of evidence that maybe he had kids at all or would have had kids. But a lot of the former canon is no longer canonical. When they started making the newer Star Wars movies, the old canon kind of went away, so to speak, or at least a bunch of it did. So they can go any direction they want. The Emperor could have had children, perhaps. Maybe Darth Vader had other children. That's probably not likely. That would be very, very weak. So anyway, I got to thinking about it. It's like, okay, they can do whatever they want, but if I go by the books and the former movies, Sidious, if you've ever read the book Darth Plagueis, a little fratricide there if I noticed correctly in the video. If you read the book Darth Plagueis, he's never. It specifically says that he doesn't really care that much about, getting married or having kids or anything like that. And but Darth Plagueis himself may have been. They hint at the idea that he may have caused Anakin Skywalker to be conceived. And in I'm drawing a blank now. The first movie, Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Shmi Skywalker, Anakin's mother, even says that there was no father. She just she just had him, basically. And in Darth Plagueis the book, they hint at maybe it's possible. I don't know that they ever say it specifically, but it's possible that Darth Plagueis meditated and caused the Force to basically create Anakin Skywalker. So my thoughts are that the Emperor did something to that effect. And in The Force Awakens, somebody leaves Rey on Jakku, and we're not for sure who. She just has memories of it. So I don't know. It's a weak theory, but I don't know that any theories are really... Right now, the theories are either weak in regards to there's not a lot of evidence for them, or they're weak in regards to the fact that they're not going to be that compelling or that fun. And so I'm trying to speculate on perhaps something that's a little bit more fun, that I see evidence for, that's not just going to be the same old thing over again. And that's the theory I've come up with. Don't know how exactly she's connected to the Emperor, but I'm thinking perhaps, even though it's not original, perhaps the Emperor created her somehow, some way, and that's why she's so strong with the Force. Anyway, that's all I'm going to ramble on about that. Thanks for watching.